Welcome to Granny Shift, and I'm Ryan.
And I'm Jason.
And this is minute 80 of the Fast and Furious Tokyo Drift.
Shawn's got an idea.
Yeah, not a great one.
No.
But
I mean, everybody that knows Shawn and cares about him is giving him the same advice.
leave.
Yeah, just get out of here. Like,
Right.
It's not good for you at all. And Han's like, no.
Shawn.
Shawn's like, I'm going to stay involved. So basically, he's talking with Twink right now.
Right. Twink says, look, DK wants your head, all right?
Yeah.
I don't understand why.
Yeah, why does DK want him dead?
Yeah,
DK's like, I got the girl, dude. Now get out of here. You're just some punk.
right.
But we also know, like, DK, didn't we learn at the parking garage in the very beginning, he likes to make an example out of people.
Yeah,
Wasn't that the whole thing with, like, he stood up to him and now he's like, oh,
right.
it's on? And so Shawn's been standing up to him this whole time, made him look bad, and now he's got to, like, make a lesson out of him. That's what I'm thinking. What else could he care about Shawn?
I guess, yeah. Well, and the next line confused me as well when Twink says, and the trouble you just made for Kamada.
Okay, yeah. So
What trouble did he make?
Well, now, he got... At this point, Han's dead, so you can blame all the troubles with Han on him, right? So, like, the whole... Well, I don't know.
Han's
There's
dead.
there's a big mess that DK has to answer for now to Kamada, and Han's the only one left... Han's dead, so Shawn's the only one left to be responsible for that. Shawn
Because
was in the
Shawn
car
was in
chase.
the car chase, yeah.
Yeah, and like he was involved with the girlfriend, which motivated DK for a lot of it. So
Yeah. Would you say that Han is dead because of Shawn, though?
Boy,
Han got caught doing something he was already doing before Shawn.
right. Kamada had no idea who Shawn was when he came and confronted DK about him.
Yeah. I don't think Kamada really even knew who Han was. He just said, your partner.
Yeah,
He's like, why
But
could I see that your partner was doing
it might have been the icing on the cake.
Yeah.
The straw that broke the camel's back.
Right.
Because Shawn had pissed off DK so much, that was the last thing, and now he went and overreacted
Right.
by killing.
Because it wasn't until Neela walked up where DK drew his gun. Like he's like up there, he's like talking aggressively with Han, DK was, and then Neela walks up, and
Right.
that's when DK pulls out his pistol.
Because it's yeah.
He's like, oh shoot, I forgot how pissed off I am
right.
at Shawn and Neela because she's here.
With
Yeah.
Han.
Right.
Yeah, because if you think if Shawn hadn't shown up, Han would be doing business with DK, and DK would have found this out, and he was defending him the whole time to Takahana or Takaki Kamadi, and he might have gone to Han and been like, yo, what's going on? He's saying my numbers, like, let's figure this out. And then Han, being as smooth as he is, would come up with some
Right.
excuse or something like that and figure out a way to work it out. But DK was so pissed off because now his girlfriend's living at Han's. Shawn, the guy he hates so much, is living with Han. And now he's like, Han is not my friend.
And we talked about this before, but Shawn could have made this so much better for himself had he just not been so arrogant.
Yeah.
He was always stepping to DK and Morimoto and
don't need to stand up to him.
Yeah, and I don't know. Shawn could have fit in. These are people who love drifting and cool cars.
Yeah.
And they have these beautiful women that always hang around, and they're also at these
weird hair though.
What's that?
The women, they have weird hair.
Yeah, and weird makeup eye, raccoon eyes.
Yeah.
And he could still be around Twink and his other friends, like Twink's drifting friends and stuff like that. Because there's times where you can see them almost all together, like Han and the kid and the people at the club, or the dance club with the models. Shawn could have played this so much better.
Right. And got to drive cars more.
Right. If he wasn't such like a,
It's his ego.
Right. It's really
Right.
annoying.
So
He's the villain of this movie.
Yeah, he is the villain of himself.
Yeah.
But I want to. That reminded me of something else. It doesn't quite make sense. Is like when DK was on the phone, or not on the phone, when he was talking to Tamagotchi in his office, and he was defending Han.
Right.
He went from defending him because he's like, oh no, like I'm guessing he kind of saw him as a friend, or somebody he respected, to within minutes or hours or whatever, trying to kill him.
Yeah.
Like nothing else happened after he defended. Like if he was like ready to kill him, he'd be like, I knew it. That's it. I'm going after him. He would have told his uncle that.
Right.
But
I think it's one of those things. It's just like his uncle probably left and he's left there like, oh man, could this be right? Like, and he's like thinking about all this stuff, and then he just like works himself up into this.
Yeah, that's true. Especially with his uncle making comments then about his father.
Like, and he's
And
pissed
he's
at
like,
his uncle and himself
right.
for not being his dad.
And then he overreacted.
Yeah, and then he doesn't know what to do with all that. So.
So now he's on a killing rampage.
Yeah, and his other friend, I guess, Morimoto, he's probably dead.
Yeah.
So DK's lost quite a bit.
Oh, maybe he blames the death of him on Shawn.
Yeah. But, like, would Han have run away in the car either way, right? Yeah, but it's hard because would have DK gotten so pissed off if it wasn't for Shawn?
Right.
Yeah. They could have had, like, a meeting instead of, like, a confrontation.
Yeah.
About the issue.
But anyhow, Twinks, like, you got to get out of town because
you're done here,
you're
bro.
Done here, bro.
Bruh.
And it's funny.
That's
Twink still like cares about Shawn.
Right. But I don't think Twink's not like, hey, come with us. He's like, just
and Twink knows a lot. You can tell Twink's like still getting information about Han, not Han,
and DK. Right.
Man, I don't know why I keep mixing Han's name into this so much. So, but Shawn's got an idea now. Yeah,
he says maybe I should go talk to Kamada because DK answers to him.
Yeah, and
Twink's like, go to the head of the mafia? About what? What is the issue?
Right, like what are you going to say to him? Like,
hey, I stole his girlfriend. He's kind of pissed.
Yeah.
Like,
can you help me out? I'm actually a pretty good guy.
Yeah.
Han trusted me. Like, Shawn doesn't know that Han was stealing from DK, does he?
I don't think so. Well, I'm trying to think back to their conversation in the car where he's like, I need DK. I don't know. I don't know that Han I don't know that Shawn was intelligent enough to figure out what Han was doing.
Han was always speaking very vaguely and figuratively.
Right.
So maybe he mentioned it in somehow, but I don't think Shawn would have picked it up.
Yeah.
But Shawn's like amping himself. He's like, yeah. He's got the little head nod. Like, that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to go talk to him.
He's thinking through the steps, but he's not thinking through the very first one, how he's even going to get there.
Right.
Like,
and Twink now yells. They're in a quiet parking garage.
Right.
And Twink's like, are you crazy, man?
Yeah.
You can't just walk into Kamada's place, man.
It's like, Han is dead. He says
Shawn's
that again.
Like,
Han is dead.
He's like, what do you mean I can't do something?
It's all I got. Like, no, just leave.
Shawn does not understand you can't do something.
Right. Yeah.
He's like, you can't? No, sure can. I can walk right in.
I feel like Shawn literally
dumb.
could leave and not a single person in this movie would miss him.
Yeah, they'd be like, all right, that kid.
That was weird. It's like a kid who comes to like your high school for like one semester.
Yeah, like, man, remember that guy?
He was crazy.
What a strange guy. He must have been
I wonder what he's up to now. I wonder which prison he's in now. Must have been homeschooled. Oh my. Yeah, those homeschoolers. They don't think it'd be like it is, but it do.
Yeah. Okay.
But so Twink is like, okay, well, obviously
Shawn's made his mind up.
I've never been able to tell this guy not to do anything.
Right, he just does it.
Right.
So I'm getting Twink's got. He's like, man, and now I'm thinking he's like gonna be like, well, then I'm going with you, because that's kind of been how he does it.
Yeah.
But he doesn't say that. He's like, something I think Han would have wanted you to have.
And he pops open the lift gate.
Yeah.
Of his
in the lift gate, he's got a pry bar, and he takes his pry bar to remove A subwoofer.
A subwoofer. Is that how they're kept in?
No,
Just
you
like
have, if you look in this sub,
I see
there's
the
screws.
Yeah.
There's like 8 screws that hold a subwoofer in. They're like drywall screws, basically, because they're going into fiberglass. You take them out, and the subwoofer nicely lifts out, because you got to check wiring and
Is
whatever.
that what's there? A sub on the other side of that?
I'm pretty maybe it's not.
Or is it another screen? He does
but
have
it
some
looks
screens
like he's prying a sub out.
Right, it does look like that.
If it was like a door, wouldn't you just open the trap door? I don't know. There's
Yeah.
something in the sub box, though.
Man, do people still fiberglass like this?
No.
Who was... This is a conversation for not on a podcast. I was going to ask you who was this person, but nobody listening would know. Nate Wright's friend?
Yeah.
That did this?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
B. But you know who else did this? Amateur Dad. He worked
Oh, really?
for...
Oh, that's right. That's right.
They did all kind of custom, like, audio installations. But yeah, the fiberglass boxes used to be so, like, smooth and streamlined. And, like when I made a box, it was a rectangle.
Right.
These were, like, all, like, curvy and...
But he's got no rear view mirror action. But,
No.
like...
But he's got 3 TVs.
Yeah, I'm sure that's cool.
He probably stands there and, like, okay.
I think it came
People
out. I don't know
like
when
this.
this came out, but I do remember seeing, like, this reminds me of, like, a Pimp My Ride mobile, right?
Yeah.
I do remember seeing, like, all that Pimp My Ride stuff was fake. They were, like, hiring these people and giving them junk cars. But they were also, like, people who were, like I like this, you know, I like this one thing. And so they, like, model this whole car about, like, oh, you like fashion? Well, we turned your trunk into a hair salon. It's like, well, it's just like doesn't make any sense, right?
Right.
But I remember seeing that when I was like, oh, that was like all fake. It's like a typical reality show.
That was like the start of reality shows. I feel like there's some now that are a little more real, but not completely scripted. But there's so many back then that you're watching, and I'm like.
I remember like the dating ones.
There's Next or whatever.
Next, yep.
And they would have like their profile. He's like, loves to pick his boogers and doesn't wear deodorant.
Right,
like, who? And the guy gets off. He's like, yeah. And I'm like,
Next was the one.
Who would do this on TV?
It was like MTV, right? Or was it VH1 or MTV? I forget.
It was MTV.
But it was like Next was the one where like it was like a bus full of people, right?
And they'd go on a date, and she'd at any point during the date be like, next,
right?
And then he'd have to leave immediately.
But you can never go back,
right?
Yeah, like, there could be something better waiting for you.
Yeah,
or you could get to the end of the line and realize they're all D-bags.
It could happen.
Eliminate. What was that? What was the difference in eliminate?
I don't know. I
can't remember.
She dated them all at once.
I remember watching. Oh, you know what? I think so.
It
was like one girl and 4 guys, and after like one part of the date, she kicked one out.
Yeah, and they go to the next activity.
That sounds right.
Yeah.
That sounds right.
I feel like these were the dating shows I was like not supposed to watch, but I was like, I had access to TV at 10 p.m. somewhere.
Right, exactly.
Like staying at your grandma's house for the weekend. Like, I can watch Eliminate.
Yes.
We're at Ryan's house.
Yeah, we had whatever channel that was.
Probably 27.
That's when channels just had numbers.
Yeah, because it was on an antenna. Oh, you probably had cable.
No, we had cable. We had like the basicest cable that you could have.
I never had cable.
My dad liked sports, so.
My dad did too, but we had to watch local sports.
Like the Barnstormers play.
I don't even think they made
Reading
it on.
Phils. I don't know how much cable cost back then. I'm surprised my parents had it, but I'm sure it was cost effective if we had it. But
how do we get on this?
Fiberglass and Pimp My Ride.
Oh, Pimp My Ride. Anyhow, the minute ends with Twink prying something out of his fiberglass box
to get to something.
And you should not pry against fiberglass.
I feel like it'd be crunchy.
It cracks and never uncracks.
You can't like
it just crumbles.
Fix it. Fiberglass is just literally
fix it, but
glue with like strands of stuff, right?
It's resin with strands of glass in it.
Oh, is that what it is?
Yeah.
Oh, fiberglass. Yeah. But I think of like.
But they sand it so smooth, and then they paint it with automobile finish paint.
Okay.
So that's why it's so glossy. But you crack that, you're painting the whole thing again.
Yeah. But like fiberglass is also in like insulation.
Yes.
But that doesn't look like strands of glass.
Yeah, well, it is. It's like little strands
that thin?
Yeah, it's so tiny, and it'll float. And then those little teeny pieces of glass, you breathe them in, they're really bad for your lungs. But like when you do fiberglass like this, you like paint this resin on, and then you have this fiberglass matting.
Right. Okay.
So you can either do a matting, but I think you can also get like a powder. I don't know. But
so do you like make a mold, and then you put the fiberglass matting and resin over top of that?
I don't know exactly how they did this because I was always curious, but I think they built it out of like cardboard or something.
Styrofoam, maybe.
Should we call Alan? Alan would know.
Yeah, we'll. Maybe he'll be on the podcast sometime.
Yeah. But yeah, I think they built a form, and then they lay like you like paint the resin on like real thick, and then you lay the matting on, and then you paint another coat of resin, then another coat of matting, and then like that's like the more better quality it is, the more like layers you do.
Okay.
And then you'll sand it because it'll sand out really smooth. And then you often like there'll be little pinholes and stuff you have to like body filler over, and then you paint it. Beautiful.
Beautiful.
That's what your bathtub's made out of.
Oh, yeah. Thanks for listening. I'm Ryan.
Unless you're rich, then you have a porcelain
tub.
Yeah. And I'm Jason.
And always remember,
winning's winning.